FM.
I want savages. Quote unquote, Liam Cohen. That on the 27th day of the year 2025, the month of January. He coined it. Everyone on him for Duval. How about that? I want savages. And I think you out there as Jaguar fans, you could buy in. Some guys who act like they actually do care. You know, I think the most important thing that a coach has to do nowadays, and it's so hard. Coaching that profession is brutal. I mean, I can't see how you could strive for it. And most coaches are, former players, players who either have a really nice career or players who fail, or it's complete at the collegiate level or high school level or no matter what it may be. But I can't imagine coaching nowadays, because can you really do it the way that you want to do it? Or do you have to keep checking yourself because, today the players are equal. Today we have players' rights. Today you're not supposed to get all over these guys. I hate it. I wish it was old school. Yelling and screaming and spitting and foul language, that's part of being a coach. I mean, it is. It just simply is. And we saw very little of that last year, and it's one of the major reasons that Doug Peterson lost the locker room. Guys like Roy Robertson-Harris moved. Guys like Cam Robinson wouldn't even go in the game and play. Many other examples as well. People laughing after losses, stuff like that. Not with Liam Cohen. He wants savages. How are you going to get savages? How can you create someone into a savage? Doug Peterson told us last year that Darnell Savage was actually a dog, right? One of the most spirited guys, one of the most ferocious guys. Didn't use the word savage, no pun intended, with his last name, but we just never really saw it. Now, he was an injured guy. Let's hope that the new general manager, no matter who he is and when he comes, according to Shad Khan yesterday, he has until February 28th to make that announcement. That is freaking hilarious. I mean, it really is. Take your time. I mean, you got a Senior Bowl practices going on. You got the East-West Shrine Bowl practices going on. We're 86 days away from the draft. We're a month less than that away from free agency. You got key decisions to make within your own organization as far as roster, attrition, cutting some players, doing whatever. But by all means, let this thing play out. And get your general manager. You have one more month to be able to pull that off. All right, a bunch to do today. Aaron Beasley in 20 minutes. Looking forward to that. Bees comes on whenever there's something huge happening within the world of the Jaguars. Also, Rick Stroud today popped off. Not even sure where Rick is now. Maybe still the Tampa Bay Times. I've read Rick for years. I've always appreciated him, but he took it below the belt again. Had to go to the fans, had to go to the city, had to go to the stadium. Totally, uninformed. Like everyone is talking about the Jaguars who doesn't cover the team directly. He even brought up London and how unsettled the stadium situation is. Oh, really? Okay. I mean, not as if they didn't sign a lease for 30 years. It was one of the biggest stories to hit the state of Florida. In 2024, Rick Stroud, 3 hours down the road, didn't get that memo. That information did not trickle down Dale Mabry. So Rick Stroud going after, again, everything that's Jacksonville. And that's fine because the way that Liam Cohen did it wasn't exactly professional, okay? It was kind of sneaky. It was from behind, but that's great. And that's what this thing is all about. And I made a big deal about it last week on Friday. And I'm going to stay with it during the offseason. Don't even try to apologize for this. Just own it. I mean, just be a bad guy for once. You're laughed at by almost everyone, and that includes Rick Stroud in Tampa, longtime member of the media who's been covering the National Football League for decades. They just consistently laugh at you as Jaguar fans, and it really boils my blood. That's why I'm saying this time, don't take it. Fight back. Say what you want. Act the way that you want. Do not apologize. Do not back down. Do not turn the other cheek. Play the role of the villain and own it. You don't play a football game for 8 months. Why would you ever do anything outside of that now? It's not like you have a game this Sunday. It's not like you have a game a month from Sunday. You don't have anything until September. Enjoy the offseason. Enjoy being the bad guy. Enjoy being bad fans for once. Instead of getting picked on, you're the ones that people are actually talking about. And I love it. Man, I would be relishing in this. You know, you young entrepreneurs out there, man, I'd be making T-shirts and developing this and doing whatever it is, coming up with some cool sayings. I would just be all over it. It's a fresh new wave that has rolled in the Duval. Who cares what anyone else says? I just mentioned it to make it a point, but it's going to happen again and again and again and again and again. And it's one thing to make the point and say Jacksonville sucks and there's nothing to do here and there's no fans. You know, we all know that's just not correct. We all know that is wrong. But it's another thing to have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. His second paragraph was, they may still move to London. The stadium is on sale. I mean, think about that. He's like one of the voices of Tampa. And he has no idea what's going on with Jacksonville. So enjoy that and have some fun with it. It's going to happen all offseason. And again, I'm never going to tell you what to do. I'm just going to make a recommendation, and I'm going to offer up my opinion, especially you youngsters out there. Man, I would be having a blast with this. Why not? You got so much downtime. I mean, by the time September comes around, everything that's being said now will be long forgotten because we'll have a draft. We'll have free agency. We'll have rosters that are set. We'll have preseason football games. We'll have everything else. Then the questions will be on the field. Most notably, can Liam Cohen take Trevor Lawrence to the next level? Send me your ideas. If you guys have any movement there, let me know what's going on. Hey, I'll give you a free plug right here on the home of the Jags at 641-1010 on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. All right. I need to make a statement. I do. And after this statement, we need to have a conversation because it's come to this. First of all, let's play what Liam Cohen said yesterday with Frank and Hayes talking about the offensive line and how, in his opinion, it's the number one thing that needs to be fixed.
That's the number one thing that we need to really get right. Like that is such an important position. When you go into a game plan, what we think about is how do we take care of and protect and make the game easier for the quarterback and the offensive line on the offensive side of the ball. On the flip side of it, defensively, how do we impact and affect the quarterback and the offensive line? That's really what we're trying to get accomplished. So the O-line hire, that process, that culture, all of what goes into that position, that's going to be one of the top hires that we make this year.
All right, my opinion right now, the most important hire that the Jaguars make, and I'm only a 1%er here, and I don't care because I'm sick and tired of it. But the most important decision that this organization makes in the immediate is their offensive line coach. End of story. You can GM me all you want. You can defensive coordinator me all you want. You can offensive coordinator. You can do anything you want. I'm going to tell you, you are wrong. The most important hire is the right offensive line coach. Yesterday, Liam Cohen talked more about the offensive line. Quote, I think we would all agree it needs to improve. I think first and foremost, when you look at the offensive side of the ball, you want that unit and that group. It's the first thing when you break the huddle that the defense does see. He also goes on to say this, and it's great. I want it to mean something. That's personnel. That's scheme. That's technique. That's fundamentals. That's attitude. He goes on to talk about how what they taught last year in camp in Tampa Bay, okay? Teaching zone and how it's much easier to do zone when you have no pads on. They ended up becoming better gap blockers than actually zone blockers, something that I would think on the surface is pretty rare because the latter you can only really perform once pads are on. Yet the moral of the story here, and I've never talked about this in all of my years with the offensive line. I've always talked about it when it comes to offensive minds and calling plays in the scheme that you will run. The best example I can give you is in college, and I do it a few times a year. But Jimbo Fisher was so freaking hard-headed that he thought he had the best offense in America. Here's the problem. E.J. Manuel didn't get it. E.J. Manuel didn't have the ability during a play clock to get the right play and run it. Jameis Winston did. Jameis Winston understood 100% of the offense of Jimbo Fisher. E.J., of course, before Jameis. Where Jimbo was rock-headed was he wasn't smart enough to take his offense and do it to what his players did best. Instead, his attitude was, I have the best offense in America, learn it and run it. Doesn't work that way. What did Liam Cohen say yesterday? I don't know what I'm going to do as far as my offensive scheme. We got to wait to see what the personnel looks like. We've got to do on that offensive line with what the talent we have on the field allows us to do. It was brilliant. I've never heard anyone talk about that before with an offensive line. We've heard it when it comes to schemes. Absolutely. But never with the offensive line, which is, I think, so overlooked in so many different circles. And it's now such a complex position. In my opinion, this is the most important hire that Jacksonville is going to make. Cohen yesterday spelled it out perfectly when it comes to Lawrence. Now you need to protect this guy. Jacksonville can't run the football. Jacksonville has never been able to run the football. They have 2 quality backs. Give them 5 offensive linemen and watch what they do. We know that 2 years ago in Tampa, Buccaneers were the worst rushing team in the NFL. Last year, they took it to 150 yards a game. What do the Jaguars do? 26th in the NFL. Just over 100 yards each and every Sunday. I love the Kevin Carberry mention, the current offensive line coach in Tampa Bay. Now, you're not going to be able to hire him as an offensive line coach. Tampa Bay is going to block a lateral move. So how do you get him here? Do you make him an offensive coordinator? Maybe. For the record, I wouldn't have a problem with it. How about making him the rushing game coordinator? Why not? Give him a glorified title. Bump up his pay. Get him here to control this offensive line. Give him that title, and I got to believe the relationship between Carberry and Cohen is solid. They were together in L.A., and they were together last year in Tampa Bay. But this becomes the most important part of the process as far as I am concerned. And again, I understand that you're going to read me my rights on the defensive coordinator. Well, here's why I say that. They're going to get a guy. It's probably going to happen this week, right? They've interviewed 5 different candidates now. Jonathan Cooley interviewed today. Rams, he was with the Rams and Liam Cohen a couple of years ago. He's been currently the passing game coordinator in Carolina. I saw something viral on Aubrey Pleasant, which I loved. Patrick Graham is a guy that is probably the leader right now if you were to put percentages on the next defensive coordinator. So I get that. I'm not saying excuse it. And I get the offensive coordinator, and I get the positions. But this has to be, in my opinion, a can't-miss hire. You have to get the right offensive coordinator. And I would love to bring in a guy like Kevin Carberry. He's my pick for the reasons that I just gave you. He worked with Cohen in Los Angeles, and he worked with Cohen last year in Tampa. And again, consider what they had with all of those injuries. Consider how their offensive blocking scheme changed based on the personnel that they had. It's brilliant. It really is. You're going to have to pay him, and you're going to have to give him a title. And frankly, you're going to have to figure out whether or not he's a 41-year-old guy, whether or not he wants to come here, right? There's no guarantee that he wants to come here. Typically, money talks. You give him an extra $500,000 or $600,000 or whatever it is, and you put him as a rushing game coordinator, the rush game coordinator, whatever the glorified title is. I think you can get him here. I'm really excited about this. This football team is not going to take the next step until they fix that offensive line. It is the most important position group on this football team, not named Trevor Lawrence and your quarterback. And I read and I read and I listen and I listen, and it's all defense. It's all get an interior defensive lineman, get two safeties, get a second. It's all defense. And I get it because it's a Swiss cheese defense. But you have to begin by fixing your offense first. Fix the interior offensive line. Get a number 2 wide receiver and get the best offensive line coach that you can. And hopefully things will take a turn for the better right here in Duval. All right, opening comments every night brought to you by the good folks over at Shmunez Vision. Welcome, Dr. John Hunt. He joins the family. Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. Neo Shmunez. Hey, whether it's for you, your family, your friends, spread the word. They're the best in the business. So let me tell you why. They'll actually sit back and listen. Right? You need surgery, very confusing. A lot of practices out there will say, yeah, we'll go talk to our surgery counselor. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being petrified about going under and, I got another patient that's waiting. I'm already 15 minutes late. Go talk to a surgery counselor. Hell no. Not at Shmunez Vision. They're going to break it all down with you like they did for me 8.5 years ago when I met with Dr. Neo Shmunez. Very comforting. All my visits when I go back, never a problem. There's never been a setback, and that's encouraging. And we have a lot of problems. We have a lot of things that we have to worry about day to day. You don't want it to be your eyes, but it could be. Stop delaying. Set up an appointment today. Shmunez Vision. Shmunez Vision. Also, check him out online on Instagram. You can check him out. All of the testimonials there at Shmunez Vision as well. Let's get your thoughts on what I said about the OL. Go ahead and bring it right here on this Tuesday. And speaking of the offensive line, here's a guy who almost never butted heads with him because he was outside on the island. He was covering the corner right here in Jacksonville. The great Aaron Beasley. He's on deck, and he goes into the night.
I'm Logan Cook from the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So Logan Cook will kick it away, and they're going to throw it to Walker. And it's going to be a first down.
On 10-10 XL.
Joe C. for Blossman Gas. They've been providing hometown service and the comforts of propane to home and businesses since 1951. Imagine movie night spent around glowing gas fireplace logs, cookouts in the backyard with your propane grill, or laundry done faster with your gas dryer. Blossman has a wide variety of gas appliances to fit your needs. Propane delivery, gas appliances, and a full-service team. Blossman Gas is your local company for everything propane. Blossman Gas, log on, blossmangas.com, and check out the Blossman difference.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to divorcemenonly.com. Divorcemenonly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Clean air, cool air, both are extremely important. Trust Florida Home AC to deliver on both with their Remy Halo, the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and breathe clean and cool air.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
Start the new year with a fresh look for your home. It's the Renewal by Andersen New Year's sales event. For a limited time, save 20% off on our energy-efficient windows and patio doors designed to keep your home comfortable year-round and your energy bills down. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation. But hurry, the special New Year's offer won't last. License number CGC 1527613.
Spend lunchtime with the ladies.
Hey, where's your sense of adventure?
They don't cook, but they serve up spicy sports talk.
Sure, it's on the menu.
Helmets and heels.
That is a meal.
Switched on by First Coast Lighting and Fans on 1010XL.
You waited forever for your new fence. Then, strangers show up. Subcontractors rushing the job. Sent by the company you trusted. Frustrating, right? Superior Fence and Rail promises better. Their professionally trained builders deliver quality you can trust. No subcontractors, no shortcuts. Just the superior craftsmanship your home deserves.
When you're on the fence, about the fence, superiorfenceandrail.com.
Mike Dempsey here. All right, we're almost a month into the new year. How's that resolution to drop your first 20 to 25 pounds going? Didn't happen? Yeah, well, that's probably because you didn't call Awaken 180 weight loss. I did, and in just 4 weeks, I dropped 23 pounds and was at my goal. But here's the crazy part. It didn't stop there. It was so easy, I kept going. Did it another week. Next thing I know, I'm down 27 pounds. That's right, 27. You know what's wild? I can still see my abs again. Not ripped. I don't have a six-pack, but I didn't even think I had those anymore before Awaken 180. It's amazing when you see the results. Feel the results. You just want to keep pushing forward. That's what makes Awaken 180 so different. It's not some medication quick fix where the weight comes off and comes back. It's real results that you can see and feel. Fast results and lasting results. Results that make you want to keep going. To reach a goal you never thought possible. Want the same for you? Then do it. Call the solution for weight loss, Awaken 180 Weight Loss, 844-346-1800, or visit awaken180weightloss.com today.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you be active, reach weight loss goals, and find your inner strength while you connect with your community. Family memberships at the Y include unlimited group exercise classes, childcare while you work out, and youth sports participation. It's easy to join the Y and affordable for all. Plus, the Y is a great place to meet a new circle of friends. Visit the Y near you or online at fcymca.org.
Cannonball!
Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad. Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage, too.
Tailgate special alert. 3 pounds of marinated chicken, 2 pounds of marinated steak tips, 2 pounds of fresh ground beef, and 2 pounds of homemade sausage for only $80 to feed your crew.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise and towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it. 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Born and raised in Pottstown, Pennsylvania, where he played his ball before going to Valley Forge Military Academy. Earned some couches out in West Virginia, and of course became a shutdown corner with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Welcome in, Aaron Beasley.
Shutdown corner. I was just a defensive back. I don't know about all that.
You didn't have the blazing speed, but you had the hips, man. You could turn and run.
That's the main part of playing defensive back, because I saw guys that can run a 4.2, but it didn't look like that on the field, you know?
Right. And you didn't mind the physical contact.
Nah, I'm feeling it now, but back then I didn't care.
Hey, I got a text from you, and I know that from where you're born, you got the Eagles here coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah, man. I was up there this past weekend. It was pretty exciting and cold.
Yep.
And, I mean, it's just, man, Philly is just a sports city, man. It's like every sport, I mean, they love you, but they will let you know if you're doing bad. You know?
No doubt. Yeah. I went to the regular season game there this year, Jacksonville at Philadelphia. Jacksonville actually played fairly well in that contest. All right, a lot has happened since you've been with us on the air. Let's go back to a week ago Wednesday, a complete surprise to me after Shad Khan 3 weeks previously before that said that Trent Baalke wasn't going anywhere. We learned that Trent Baalke was fired. What was your reaction?
It was surprising, but, I mean, I say but because, I mean, you don't usually see it like that late.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to me, it's usually done like right after the season or so. But he waited for like a week. But then I guess with Liam not taking the job, I think Mr. Khan was kind of set on his guy, you know?
Right.
And, you know, sometimes it's about the relationship of the coach and the GM. And I just don't know if people were willing to come work for Trent. I mean,
yeah.
So it is what it is, man. We on to the next, you know, just like a golf. On to the next shot, on to the next coach.
Hey, when you were here, there was one voice, and that was Tom Coughlin, and there were coaches in the league who took on those dual responsibilities. But the NFL got away from that for the most part, especially when Belichick, you know, left New England a year ago. Now we're seeing a new wave where you hire the head coach first, and he's going to have an enormous say on who the general manager is going to be. Your thoughts there?
I see the reasoning. I mean, because, you know, you get the coach in there, he implements his system, he gets his defensive guys and what they want to do, and now you build your team that way. So I could see that only because, you know, sometimes the GM, you know, he may see the view different from the coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd rather have them be on the same page, which, I mean, it just unites everything. And, you know, you got to build a program. I mean, you can't just – I always say you can't just have a football team. You got to have a program where, you know, when one man goes down, it's like you lose nothing. And that's what I think when we were here with Coughlin. I mean, he was a great builder of the team as well. I mean, you look at the talent we had on this team. Like, he knew what he was doing off the field, I mean, on the field, with the GM, with everything. And then, I mean, he had a great system for offense and defense, too.
Aaron Beasley, our guest, now the head coach of Duval Charter. Of course, played the majority of his NFL years right here in Jacksonville and calls Jacksonville his home. What would it be like to play for a 39-year-old coach?
I played for Jim Moore Jr. when I was in Atlanta.
Okay.
And I think he was in his 40s. And, man, it was pretty cool because, you know, the music was kind of similar. I mean, we were listening to the same music. I mean, he listened to hip-hop. It was pretty cool. So, but at the same time, he brought great energy. I mean, like, I love the fact that, like, we would have an away game, and it was like a rivalry game. So we played Carolina, and it was a black paint game. So everybody that traveled had to wear some kind of black paint. So you had the managers, the equipment man. I mean, every ball boys all had some kind of black paint on their face. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. All right.
But, I mean, he just brought good energy, man. I just hope that's what we have. And, like, someone like Moore, he could be a little different because he coached in the league for a while. He had his name and he cut his teeth up there, and then also his dad. But I just don't know with Liam, and we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have a lot of experience. Again, he's 39 years of age. He's only called 18 NFL games. He's been an offensive coordinator under Sean McVay. And, I asked him yesterday at the press conference, he's going to call offensive plays here. And this is what I think Jaguar fans have wanted more than anything. It's what I've wanted, Aaron. It's an offensive head coach who, if you lose your offensive coordinator, you don't love it, but you're going to be okay because your head coach is calling the plays.
Yeah. I mean, that's like a Swiss Army knife, I guess. But I don't mind it. I mean, I just want to win. I don't care how we do it. How about that?
Yeah.
Like it's like we can ask for this and ask for that, ask for the perfect coach, ask for the perfect defense. Let's like put a team together that doesn't make the mistakes that we do when we lose. Don't have the turnovers unnecessarily. I mean, scoring when we're supposed to score. Like, let's be disciplined. Let's make those plays. Let's look like a professional team out there.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of look like a college team last year.
Heath Farwell was announced yesterday that he's returning. He's done a wonderful job, with the special teams, but that could be it as far as coaches. I never played the game, but I have this thought, Aaron, that this football team became too comfortable with losing. Therefore, the more who go, the better. I don't want anyone around who remembers how to lose. I want to bring people in who remember how to win. What do you feel about changing things up almost completely and bringing in new people compared to, letting some folks stay who, may still be able to help out this franchise?
Well, I think that, first of all, I think you got to get a defensive back coach that actually can teach and not just have some guy that teaches technique and not just have some guy that just teaches the scheme. Because that position they need an ear. They need a mouth to tell them something.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's my number one thing. But I feel like bringing new energy, as long as we have a scheme, I mean, I feel like it doesn't matter who is the coach, how old they are, how young they are. I just feel like you got to bring in some new, fresh ideas because I feel like on defense, we look vanilla, and on offense, we look vanilla.
Mm-hmm. As we wrap things up with Aaron Beasley, how about your close friend, Louis Riddick? I know he's up for, a few interviews here, and I'm waiting to see if he's going to get an opportunity to interview for the job here in Jacksonville. What's the latest with Louis?
Well, I actually he's my cousin, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But I text my cousin, Tim Lewis, who was actually the defensive coordinator at Boston College. And I'm like, man, y'all need to come down here and bring a family affair down here. And I didn't hear from him for a while, but I think he did get to Lewis. And I'm not sure, man. I think we have a little time. I know Lewis has his commitments to TV and all that, but I think that would be a great hire, man, because what he did in Philly when they were winning, I mean, he's great at recognizing personnel. I mean, you hear him on the TV screen. I mean, he paints a picture when he explains the play. I mean, that's what I think we need. We need a real football, serious, high IQ guy in there he played as well. So How could that hurt?
Could not. No doubt about it. All right, Aaron. It's been a little while since we've golfed, man. Maybe this weekend. Got to do it. You keep running out of town and stuff.
Hey, man, I'm going to have the indoor golf coming soon with the military vets, man. I'm telling you, that's going to be big.
It is going to be big. I was watching Tiger and Rory a little bit the other night, especially in cold weather cities, man. That whole indoor golf, I think that has an opportunity to blow up.
And it's like, I like it, too, because I don't have to walk, and I can just hit my ball right from the same spot.
All right, Aaron. Hey, always a lot of fun, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We'll get out there, Rick. Talk to you, man.
There he goes. Aaron Beasley. And appreciate him joining us. Jaguars great. He is currently the high school coach at Duval Charter. And Louis Riddick is his cousin. And I've talked to him quite a bit about that. I mean, Louis has been out of the game for about 10 years. Obviously we've seen him as a broadcaster. He's done phenomenal things, Monday Night Football and working with ESPN and what have you. I think the Jets interviewed him. I thought there was another stop for Louis Riddick as well that I did read. I don't know if it was in – well, anyway, I've seen the candidates for Jacksonville, and I've seen the name Louis Riddick mentioned in some reports and in some pieces, but I've yet to see anything for sure about whether or not he's doing it here with the Jaguars. So to be determined. But I do want to thank Aaron Beasley. We just mentioned golf, and I actually wanted to start with this tonight. We're now 35 minutes in, but I am going to put together a tournament here at Cimarron coming up in the very near future, and Beasley will be a part of it. It's nothing special. It's just simply blow off work for a day.
So instead of boat skip day, it's golf skip day?
I mean, boat skip day has nothing on what we're going to put together here at Cimarron. So I'm trying to get an idea, and I'm hoping to meet with Rick over there either tomorrow or Thursday. I'm thinking, in the next couple of weeks, in February, I am going to take a vacation from the 17th through the 21st. If not, it may be after. But it's going to be in the month of February. And if you're interested, just hit me up on the text line, 641-1010. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. I'll get your digits and set some things up. But I would like to do this. And if it goes over the way I think it will, then, we'll do it weekly. No.
Well, too much.
Yeah, maybe a couple of times a year, but we'll have a good time with it. And if you haven't been by Cimarron as of late, it is absolutely spectacular. They have totally redone the course, tee boxes, fairways. They continuously work on the greens, and I know that their attempt is to make them faster in the future, but certainly they have been rebuilt, and they look much better. Then you have the clubhouse, indoor, outdoor. I mean, just sensational. So if you're interested, get to me and send me your number, or just say you're in. Your number's already on the text line. Just say you're interested in playing. We're going to do that at Cimarron coming up in the very near future. All right. We got much more to do. I want to get into a couple of issues here with the Jaguars that I think are incredibly important. See, Liam Cohen is like getting ripped for saying Duval and stuff, and it's so childish. It's so, give me a break. When you get through all of that and you really analyze, if you go back and read the transcripts and listen to some of his sound bites, you have to really appreciate what you got from him yesterday. This guy knows it. He identified glaring holes in this organization, on this football team. Again, the only thing that I disagreed with that he said yesterday, the only thing, was when he was asked what he's most excited about, and he said leadership, because in my opinion, there isn't any leadership on this team. And if so, it's very, 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 very little, right? Trevor Lawrence, that's it. Who else in your offense is a leader? Seriously. You trying to tell me Travis Etienne's a leader?
Christian Kirk.
Okay.
That'd be the only one.
But he's kind of a silent
leader by example.
Leader by example. Evan Ingram is the first guy on the field and the last guy to leave. That rubs off on people. But I'm talking about vocal leaders. You have zip on that offensive line. Nothing. Absolutely nothing as far as leadership on that offensive line. Defensively, okay, Foye Oluokun a little bit. Josh Hines-Allen, a little bit. This team is lacking leaders. Is he going to be able to find leaders? Does winning create leadership? It's the only thing I disagree with. And if you look at what Trent Baalke did, and go back to Urban Meyer, all the guys they brought in that they, told us that were great leaders didn't do it. Rayshon Jenkins didn't do it. Shaq Griffin didn't do it. Marvin Jones Jr. didn't do it. Eric Armstead didn't do it. These guys aren't leaders, man. They may have been previously in their career. So that's the only thing I disagree with what Liam Cohen said yesterday. And I also know that it's probably the smart answer to give. But I got to wonder privately if he's like, oh, man, yeah. Tampa Bay had some serious leaders. Jacksonville does not. And you've got to find them. So we'll come back. We'll do that. But I I do, if you agree or disagree with that, 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also have a couple of other things that I really want to get into and grab your opinion on that as well. It's good to have you with us. My name's Rick Ballou. He's Dylan Denmark.
Tensions build.
3rd and 12. Let's go.
Plot thickens.
We got to get off the field.
Crowds roar. Tune in and let the show begin. Your home for live play-by-play is 1010XL.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast Orthopedic Specialist for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast Orthopedic Specialist take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Before the Great American Race on Sunday, the high banks of Daytona heat up with a Saturday night showdown in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Experience the intense competition up close on the sport's biggest stage to kick off the 2025 season. The NASCAR Xfinity Series at Daytona International Speedway, Saturday, February 15th. Tickets start at just $49, and kids 12 and under are free in general admission. Secure your seats now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
North Florida is growing with lots of new families joining our community. If you're one of them making the move here, your next move should be a call to American Electrical to create the best home automation system, enhancing your living experience. There are many ways your life can be made easier through smart home technology, voice-activated systems, automated lighting, total house temperature control. With American Electrical, they've got everything you need to automate your home and make it your true oasis. Check out American-Electrical.com, powered by professionalism and raising the excellence bar.
Hey gang, Prosser here. If you think you have problems related to the need to sell your home, we have solutions. And by we, I don't mean me. I mean ChadandSandy.com. That's Chad, A-N-D, Sandy.com. Call them today at 904-414-6200. Look, the problems could fall into a variety of areas. Maybe you want guaranteed no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. Maybe you need more space with a growing family. Doesn't matter what the problems are. You go to Chad and Sandy. Those problems are fixed. With all the recent talk about interest rates and economic uncertainty, you may be wondering if now is the right time to sell your home. Will you get the price you need? What about repairs or showings? The good news, you don't have to figure it out by yourself. You call my agents, Chad and Sandy Newman. They will deliver. Your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. No required cost of repairs. Pick your move date. No long-term contracts. The success stories are rolling in from all over town. Find out for yourself. Call Chad and Sandy today. That's Chad, A-N-D, Sandy.com.
Mia here. It's the Everything's on sale going on now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Get $0 down and just $288 per month for a pre-owned 2022 Toyota Corolla. Or you choose a pre-owned 2021 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for $0 down and only $388 per month. Or how about no payments till July 2025? And you get 60 days to love your purchase or exchange it. Shop the Everything's on sale at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned today. 10939 Atlantic Boulevard at arlingtontoyota.com.
This is Hayes Carline here to help you break free from the chains of pest infestation. The talk of this town is Kingfish Pest Control. By now, many of your neighbors have already joined the Kingfish Revolution, leaving their homes and lawns protected and pest-free. Now it's your turn. Call Kingfish Pest Control and say goodbye to termites, ants, mosquitoes, and other annoying pests. Trust me, you'll get exceptional service and understand why your neighbors and I use Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
Is your dog Team Rough or Team Fluff? It's officially Puppy Bowl season at Dogtopia Jacksonville Beach Boulevard. They're getting MVPs, most valuable pups, ready for the big game. Your dog deserves a tail-wagging day of fun, and Dogtopia's indoor playrooms are the perfect training ground for their game day moment. Get your dog in on all the action by visiting Dogtopia Jacksonville Beach Boulevard and St. John's Bluff. New to the pack? Enjoy a free day of daycare. Mention Puppy Bowl when booking to claim the offer.
Yo, E.T. here, and beat the winter blues with fun activities in Clay County. Some of my personal favorites are a hands-on aquaponics class at Reparation Earth, or diving into the action at Nakima Anime Bar, where you can join weekly gaming and cosplay tournaments. Clay County always has something going on. Plan your next date at exploreclay.com and share the fun at #ExploreClay.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. Are you tired of wrestling with your old shower curtain? Then say goodbye to the curtain chaos and hello to a new frameless shower enclosure. Wago Glass is clear, classy, and won't stick to you like a toddler at bedtime. Plus, it makes your bathroom look bigger and brighter. Upgrade your shower experience and step into style. Call me at Baker Glass and get ready to love your new glass shower enclosure. Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
Mia here. Since 1982, Closets by Design has specialized in creating dream spaces for every budget. My designer, Frances, made the process so easy. She came to my house and designed a walk-in closet that's not only beautiful, but incredibly functional for me and Beau Valentine. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation at 800-293-3744 or visit closetsbydesign.com and take advantage of their 40% off New Year savings this month only, including 18-month special financing. Closets by Design.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Till 8 o'clock. Thank you to Aaron Beasley. Some folks texted me, I want to play golf with Beasley. One buddy of mine just texted me, and I said, yeah. You can play, but make sure you ask your wife first. I love that with wives, man. It is just the greatest. I mean, you can say you're going to a gentleman's club and you got like $2K. You just took it out of the bank, and they're like, that's no big deal. But then, can I play golf on Sunday? It's like, what?
Well,
you
they
going
know
to play
it's like-
golf?
It's half the day. I think that's their biggest gripe.
That should be like criteria number one before you get married. Find out how your wife is going to be when you want to go play golf. You know what the difference is between being married and not being married?
I do not.
When you're married, it's, honey, can I golf on Saturday? When you're not married, it's, honey, I'm golfing on Saturday.
Question versus statement.
Mm-hmm. What do you got going on over there? We got a big event coming up on Thursday. An opportunity to meet Liam Cohen.
Yes, a fan fest. Liam Cohen's going to talk at Everbank Stadium Thursday from 6 to 8. So if you're not going to listen to the Rick Ballou show, you can go. You have to go. The entry is free. All you have to do is register for a ticket. It's free. Go to jaguars.com and you can get your ticket there and hear what he's going to say.
Pretty cool. Get an opportunity to meet him. I think it's a good move here by the Jags are recovering. I mean, a week ago at this time, I got to imagine ticket sales were down. And then you fire Trent Baalke and, people wake up and they're like, what? Did this really happen? And now you hire Liam Cohen, and now you meet him yesterday during the presser, and you're going to get an opportunity again coming up on Thursday. So hopefully you folks out there are buying tickets, and I know it's a long ways away, but this football team, it's going to be especially intriguing to see what they do. All right, I do want to get to some of your answers here because the text line is just burning up, and also getting a lot of people coming in as well, saying that, yes, they are interested in playing golf over at Cimarron. Again, once I have those details, I'll get them to you, but just let me know if you're interested. And again, I'll jot down your phone number, and we'll get back to you as soon as we know for sure what we're doing. My view of folks returning, I think, is different from a lot of people. Just like at the top of the show where I told you that I think the most important hire that this football team makes is the offensive line for the reasons that I have identified. You can't go another year with a soft offensive line. You have to fix it. And the way that my mind works, that's more important to me than another interior defensive lineman. That's more important to me than a second corner. I am rock set on this, okay, that you have to fix the offense. You could say, well, Etienne had consecutive years of 1,000 yards. Leonard Fournette, well, look at yards per carry. 1,000 yards is nothing these days. Look at the attempts. Look at the yards per carry during a 17-game season. I mean, they just haven't been able to do anything. And I thought it was bad during the Gus Bradley era where they're running sweeps at the goal line with Toby Gerhardt. Well, they couldn't do it again this past year. And I think they have talented backs. Yeah, I don't think ETN was 100%. Tank Bigsby certainly had a much better year than he had as a rookie. So I think skill position-wise, at running back, you got some guys. Now you just got to figure out what to do with that offensive line. To me, that is the biggest hire that this football team is going to make. Again, my opinion. The other thing that I'm a major stickler with is the building, the Miller Electric Center. Now, this doesn't apply to those folks who do so many different roles for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm not saying that, but I'm talking about directly involved with football operations, the coaching staff, the front office, scouting, player development, all of that type of stuff. I want very few people returning. And I say that, I try to be sensitive because losing a job is awful. And a lot of these guys have young families, and that's the profession they chose. You got to pick up, look for a new gig, and you got to head out of here and go elsewhere. We talked about leadership. It's the only thing I disagree with what Liam Cohen said. Everything else, I am with him based on what he said yesterday. And he'll say more during this event coming up on Thursday. But I think one of the biggest challenges Liam Cohen is going to have is to remove the stigma of losing is okay. Losing is fine. We tried hard. We played our best. We lost by a field goal. Let's turn the page. And that has to stop. It does. And I just, it's almost too convenient, losing by a possession. But I don't know how he's going to be able to turn that around, where all of a sudden losing becomes unacceptable, right? He mentioned that I want savages. Well, a savage would take responsibility for that and do something. Do something internally. Do something that we don't know anything about. Do something that only a player can do to other players, right? It's up to the coach and a general manager to be able to find those players. I mean, who was the most expressive about the loss this year? Andrew Wingard, a role player, a special teams guy who finally got an opportunity to play safety late. And as he was making this huge proclamation about what's going on that is wrong with the team, what did you hear? Some of his teammates in the background laughing minutes after a loss to Las Vegas. How do you change that? Seriously, it's not as simple as just go win. How do you change being comfortable with losing? That your paycheck is the same whether you win or lose. It is an enormous challenge for Liam Cohen to change that 180. And again, you can't get in their face and scream at them. You can't discipline them. You have to do it in a way where they want to play hard for you. That's the most important part of being a coach. How hard can you get the players to play for you? Every player plays hard. But do they give you the extra because they want to play and do it for you? That's what Liam Cohen's going to have to do. And it's going to be a really difficult challenge. Let's get ready for our second hour. I'd like to get your response to that. 641-1010. That's the best way to get on in. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
What is this?
Jacksonville Sports Radio.
We have hope. Rebellions are built on hope.
With the power to save the planet. Or at least sports radio in Jacksonville.
They are requesting a call sign. It's
1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
It's a new year at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. Cash in this month with thrilling promotions and tournaments, including daily high hands and table games clockwork cash out, giving away $300 cash every 15 minutes and selected weekends at all 3 Best Bet locations. Catch all the excitement in 2025. See all the details and learn the games at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
You've got a circle of friends, right? Well, how about a circle of beer? All your favorites like Bud Light, Bud Heavy, Mick Ultra, or Natty Light. It's all there in the cold case at Circle K. Probably one right around the corner right now calling your name. Slide on in to a Circle K.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, why is it that when you look at how long a store has been in business, that it always seems to be the stores like Underwood's that sell fine quality that have been around the longest?
Frank, that's a question that really doesn't get asked a lot, but it should be. There are a number of reasons, but probably the biggest is because of the endorsements our longtime customers and their pieces of jewelry have given us through the years. You see, when you sell really fine quality jewelry, that piece will last longer and always stay beautiful. It might stay in the same family for generations. And through those years of wear, a lot of compliments will be made and a lot of people will be told where the piece of jewelry came from. You see, at a store like Underwood's, it's our stated goal to be the best jeweler in the South, not the biggest. So everything we do and carry has to help move us toward that goal. And ultimately, it's the satisfied customers wearing fine quality jewelry that have kept Underwood's in Jacksonville since 1928.
Underwood's in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Hi, I'm Malcolm Anthony. Have you been charged with a crime? You don't have to face it alone. I'm here for you. Stay out of trouble, but if you don't, call me. 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW in the 904.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hit a home run for happy hour and ask your Twin Peaks girl about local specials on drafts, cocktails, shots, and more.
Kick off the new year with a new look for your home. It's the Renewal by Andersen New Year's sales event. For a limited time, save 20% on their energy-efficient windows and patio doors, designed to keep your home comfortable all year. Plus 0 down, no payments, and 0% interest for 12 months. Offer expires January 31st. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal, what's the matter?
I don't know about this air conditioner, Jason.
You know, my job is actually to...
I mean, 1 minute it's working and the next minute it's not working. Every time I leave the house, I don't know if I'm coming back to a nice, cool oasis or a steaming cesspool of sweaty garbage fumes and dog farts, and then I'll never get to sleep. And I'll be too late to call someone. And what if I've got a big meeting the next morning and I haven't slept a wink?
Okay, dude, stay cool. Or at least stay cooler.
But
Bueller Air and Plumbing can figure out why your AC only works sometimes and not all the time. We fix that kind of stuff every day.
You mean you can...
Life moves pretty fast. If you spend all your time worrying about an air conditioner that can totally be fixed, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Ammon, you're always talking about how clean air is healthy air. I've had this cold for weeks. Can cleaning my air ducts actually help?
Well, Dad, I'm not a doctor, and let's be honest, you probably caught that cold from one of your grandkids. But I can tell you this, the cleaner your air, the better you'll feel.
Makes sense, but what do air ducts have to do with it?
Your ducts are like the lungs of your home. If they're full of dust, allergens, and who knows what else, all that junk gets blown into the air you breathe, especially now that the heat's running. And the EPA says improving indoor air quality can reduce health risk.
So you're telling me my vents are working harder than my immune system?
Exactly. That's why Zero Res is here. We're NADCA certified, and our truck mount system is the most powerful in the industry. Right now, we're even offering $100 off your total for January.
All right, sign me up. If it makes me feel better and keeps your mom off my back, I'm all in.
Good call, Dad.
Zero Res.
Spelled forward or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
CEROREC. Zero Res.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, Jaguars have a lot of work to do. They got to get an offensive coordinator. They got to get a defensive coordinator. They got to get a general manager. I'm all about the offensive line coach. Right now, I look at Kevin Carberry. Give him a title. Give him rushing game coordinator. I don't care what it takes. Pay him. He was with Cohen in L.A. He was absolutely responsible alongside Liam Cohen for totally turning around that rushing attack this year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, they went from 82 yards to 149.4 yards. Dramatic improvement. They changed their offensive line scheme based on the personnel that they had. I love it. He'd be my guy. Why do you disagree? You want Chip Kelly or Grant Udinski or whatever it may be. The offensive coordinator is very important, obviously. But it's Liam Cohen who's calling plays. So what is scary about a guy like Kevin Carberry is all of a sudden, well, you have a first-time head coach at the age of 39 years of age, and now you have, if let's say they gave Kevin Carberry the offensive coordinator position, you have a first-time offensive coordinator. And, you know, that didn't work with Press Taylor 3 years ago. Or, excuse me, with Doug Peterson 3 years ago. Doug Peterson went to Tampa, brought in a first-time ever defensive coordinator, and Mike Caldwell. He brought in Press Taylor to do it officially as an offense coordinator for the first time. And then, obviously, a Heath Farwell. Now, that's worked out. He re-upped yesterday. Special teams has been really good around here. So, those two, general manager, you know, Shad talked about that a little bit yesterday. I would like to believe there's a little bit more of a panic on getting the right guy. I think being a general manager here is a plum job because Shad Khan is not on you all the time. Shad Khan takes off. He doesn't call Duval home. He's not at your desk daily. Right? He may reach out to you. I'm sure they check in on a weekly basis, but he's not hanging over your shoulder. And that is very important. There are some NFL owners who do that. It's incredibly difficult to work under those set of circumstances. Right now, my guess would be Patrick Graham as a defensive coordinator. That'd be just a guess based on what I've heard and what I've read. Several candidates, Aubrey Pleasant. Man, I came away very excited about watching him earlier today. Everything I said about not getting in players' faces and not the video clip that I saw, the Rams defensive pass game coordinator and assistant head coach. Durante Jones from Minnesota, pass game coordinator. He has been mentioned. Jonathan Cooley, who was with Liam Cohen with the Rams this past year, was the defensive passing game coordinator in Carolina. And I believe it's Anthony Campanile. Couldn't get, we tried looking everywhere on how to pronounce his name. He's currently the linebackers coach in Green Bay, but you pulled up just some filthy stuff as far as his English language back in his days with the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, 2 years ago when the Dolphins were on Hard Knocks, the in-season Hard Knocks, he had a couple of clips that were F, MF, B, all those words.
Mm-hmm. Mouth of a sailor.
Yeah.
A drunken sailor, so to speak. So, among others, those are some of the names to look for. 66, 67. Ballou, we don't always agree, but that's okay. We're passionate about the team. Do you think Cohen will, if it doesn't go well, get a longer leash because of all the things that are going on with the stadium not having a true home field? It's a very interesting question. I said before the Jaguars made a hire at all that the bet would be 3 years, and he's out, regardless of who's hired. That's been the track record. And I want to say after listening to Liam Cohen yesterday that I would play the over 3 years. I think he is going to have, at a minimum, those three to fix things. I mean, realistically, what are the expectations? I think they should be high. I do. I think they should be high for a variety of reasons. Number one, you have talent on this football team. You have a franchise quarterback on this team. You have a budding star. You got a guy that's got an opportunity to be a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL in a position that is, glorified. You are in an incredibly weak division. Look at the stuff coming out of Houston today that C.J. Stroud blew up at Bobby Slowick, and Bobby Slowick in return blew up at C.J. Stroud. There was that report that came out today out of Houston, radio-wise there, that C.J. Stroud, his final year at Ohio State, didn't talk to the offensive coordinator. He only spoke to Ryan Day. I mean, all of a sudden, there's like a lot of dirt on C.J. Stroud. Apparently, he's really a bad guy. And, we kind of got that impression a year ago when he dished Fred Taylor the way that he did. I mean, that's just so wrong. And, when I talk about the coaching and trying to get with players, this is what I mean. C.J. Stroud had absolutely no respect for Fred Taylor. That is so wrong. Okay? And I'm not saying it because it's Fred Taylor. You could say the same thing, whether he said it about Curtis Martin or Jerome Bettis or Marshall Faulk or Warwick Dunn or Ed Jaron James or, Ricky Waters. Have a little bit of respect for the guys who built up this league and were the founding fathers. That just drives me crazy with today's athletes. So it's one thing if you don't respect a guy like me. It's one thing if you don't respect someone who's in talk radio or journalism or TV, no matter what it is, and they never played the game. I get that. But not to respect phenomenal football players when you were in diapers or in elementary school, really starting to turn on C.J. Stroud the more I hear on him. So again, the division. It's a helter-skelter division. Indianapolis doesn't know what they're going to do. I read earlier today a projections for quarterbacks next year, and they had either Sam Darnold or Gardner Minshew going to Indianapolis. Okay? And there are problems in Tennessee. Now, will Tennessee fix that with the top overall pick? I don't know. But it feels like they've already given up on Will Levis 2 years in. So that, and then on top of it, if he really is a good coach, and if you believe the things that he said, that this is not a 4-win team. Okay? I'm sure Liam Cohen, when he goes back and he studies tape, and I don't know how much film study he's already done. He's got a million things going on, including he's involved in the hiring process. I'm hoping right now he is getting information from both the Senior Bowl and the East-West Shrine Bowl. The East-West Shrine plays on Thursday, the Senior Bowl this weekend. I hope there are scouts. I hope that there are individuals in the front office. Ethan Waugh was in attendance yesterday at the Miller Electric Center, the interim general manager. But I do hope that Jaguar representatives are there and that Liam Cohen is getting all sorts of information on draft picks that are participating in both these games. So maybe he doesn't have time to just, pull up in front of the computer and watch game after game after game after game of Jaguars film. But I'm sure when he does, he's going to look at that and he's going to see how Jacksonville had a chance to win so many of these games. That's also the league. I saw that Kansas City is 12-0 this year in one-possession football games. Jacksonville was 3-10. Can a good coach, can the right play call, can the right scheme, can the right decision, going for it on fourth down, not going for it on fourth down. I mean, just so many. Not kicking a field goal, it's unlimited. I can't imagine what a guy like Liam Cohen must go through his mind when he does film study. I mean, you may watch film as fans. You may go back and watch plays. I go back and I watch the game. And things pop up in my head. They should have done this. You should have. Can you imagine being a coach? Imagine being wired that way. I'm sure you're second-guessing absolutely everything that does go on. So anyway, very long-winded answer to your question. I think that I want to believe right now that he's going to do better than perhaps what is expected. And yes, he'll be around for longer than 3 years. It is going to be a mess with the stadium and all that stuff, going away. That's going to be a mess. It is. No doubt about that. Yada, 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 88, 89. Get Kansas City left guard, one of the best in the business, no doubt. I was reading about him earlier today with Trey Smith. Here's what's scary. I was looking at, I think it was Pro Football. Let me look it up during the break here. I think it was Pro Football Network. I was reading, I'm starting to do a lot of reading now on free agents. Trey Smith's the highest ranked offensive guard. He's going to make huge money. You know who's ranked number 2 as far as offensive guards? Interior offensive players.
Please don't tell me it's one of our guys.
Brandon Sheriff. Golly. And I had a big sandwich and I had a Mountain Dew and I was like so excited. I'm in my office and I got the computer up and I'm like, yes, I hate rankings. I hate lists, radio-wise. It's just lazy. If I show up here with a list and, go through, it's almost like you've mailed it in. You're taking the day off or you're taking a segment off. You're going through a list. But on my own time, I love these lists. I love reading them. And I'm like so fired up. I got like the perfect sandwich. I got the perfect soft drink. All right. And I'm like, yes, interior offensive line. And I got my cats running around. They're wanting my attention. I refuse to give it to them because I'm so enthralled by this list. Interior offensive lineman. And bam, number 2, Brandon Sheriff. Ruined my afternoon. Ruined my sandwich. Not even the Diet Mountain Dew could get me to overcome that. It was just like I was startled.
Well, PFF put out an article 6 days ago, and they had Sheriff at 7.
That's better than 2. But still, it's very discouraging. And it's nothing personal. The guy gave it his all. He was a warrior. He played hurt. He was just never a power guard. He was a finesse guard. And he wasn't playing in a right offensive system. For all I know, what if Liam Cohen gets with Kevin Carberry and they say, under our scheme, under the way that we're going to run this offensive line, Brandon Sheriff is an automatic fit. And I know people are going to be like driving off the road right now. In my mind, he's like, no, he's too old and he's always injured. he plays through it, but he's always injured. So anyway, I was a little bit disappointed with that list a little bit earlier today when I did see it. What are you going to pay Trey Smith? Remember, this organization paid top dollar for Norwell. They gave Andrew Norwell big-time money. They gave Brandon Sheriff big-time money, right? I mean, Caldwell tried. Trent Baalke tried. You got to give them credit. They went out and spent for these guards. It just didn't work. So, that's something else to consider. It really is. I was looking at the actually, let's take a break here. We'll come back and spend a little bit more time on this. He goes on to say here, the O-line and draft helped. Yeah. Where is your confidence that they can draft the interior offensive line? Luke Fortner, bust. Cooper Hodges, 7th round. Okay, he's been injured 2 years. Probably unfair. Ben Barch, gone. They worked with Juwan Taylor, I guess, even though he's a tackle. I guess it worked. They didn't bring him back. They made the right decision. Walker Little, I mean, the guy was treated so wrongly around here. I'm shocked he re-signed. Happy he re-signed, but he missed valuable reps. But still, I mean, when you start talking about Walker Little, you can't put it in ink. That's one of those deals where you cross your fingers and you hope. You hope he stays healthy. You hope now that he doesn't have to look over his shoulder. He doesn't have to compete for a job. He is entrenched. He is your left tackle. He has the blind side of Trevor Lawrence, that he just settles in and becomes a better football player. But you don't know that. Anton Harrison, I want to believe, has a little bit of nasty in him. You want to believe that Anton Harrison is going to, end up really turning the corner. He regressed this year. This former regime was the master of drafting guys and then not playing them at the position they played in college, like Anton Harrison. 23 of his 24 starts were left tackle. They made him a right tackle. He performed well as a rookie. He struggled a little bit as a sophomore. A lot of people thought he should have been the left tackle. And then my thoughts on the interior offensive line. It's just terrible. You're going to get another year out of Mitch Morse? Okay. You getting another year out of Cleveland? Okay. Again, maybe a new scheme. Maybe it wakes him up. We didn't hear any complaints because that offensive line doesn't really talk. I mean, they just don't. Trying to talk to Brandon Sheriff was like, it was just nothing but canned, cliche answers. We just got to work harder. Congratulations to him. It's almost like by the end of September, just forget about it. If it's a comment from Brandon Sheriff or no one, I'll take no one. Because he's not giving you, it's not for me, it's for you, the listener, an understanding of what happened. I don't know. I just, to me, it's all about the offensive line. And I think a lot of you out there are smart enough that you get that. You don't have an offensive line. You're not going to do squat in this league. And you need some nasty human beings. They had that in the 90s. Been a long, 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 long time since this organization has had a dominant offensive line. That's what I hope they have. More than anything, I hope they're able to find that.
Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
There's the snap. Brunell standing in the pocket, has time. He's on the run to his left. He's got Keenan all alone. Keenan makes the catch at the 10. Tyrope's down the sideline. And the referee signaled touchdown. A 47-yard touchdown pass.
Jaguars pride forever. 1010XL.
Ballou here for Spunez Vision. Why Spunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Spunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Spunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Spunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Transform your bathroom with stunning shower glass from Sky Glass Solutions in Jacksonville Beach. For a free quote, call 904-608-5151 or visit skyglasssolutions.com.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? You have questions? Call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Hey, nice job, Pete. I like those clean lines. Fellas, do we have anyone that can get to Greenport today?
At Corey's Landscaping, the staffing plan is in the weeds.
Anthony, we need that leaf blower over here. 3 more new customer requests just came in. Who wants to work some overtime?
He needs to dig up quality landscapers and fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Electric Light Orchestra Experience featuring Evil Woman, the American ELO. A concert celebration featuring the music of the Electric Light Orchestra. It's February 5th at Jacksonville Center for the Performing Arts. Tickets at fscjartistseries.org.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Start your new year off healthy and get screened at Ackerman Cancer Center with on-site imaging, including whole body MRI, PET and CT scans, and mammography. Early detection is key. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Is your dog Team Rough or Team Fluff? It's officially Puppy Bowl season at Dogtopia Jacksonville Beach Boulevard. They're getting MVPs, most valuable pups, ready for the big game. Your dog deserves a tail-wagging day of fun, and Dogtopia's indoor playrooms are the perfect training ground for their game day moment. Get your dog in on all the action by visiting Dogtopia Jacksonville Beach Boulevard and St. John's Bluff. New to the pack? Enjoy a free day of daycare. Mention Puppy Bowl when booking to claim the offer.
Yo, E.T. here, and don't let Valentine's Day sneak up on you. Plan the perfect romantic getaway in Clay County. Stay at one of Clay's beautiful Airbnbs or in luxury at Club Continental, a boutique riverfront retreat, and treat your special someone to an unforgettable dinner at the Hilltop Restaurant. Trust me on this one. Clay County is the perfect spot for romance. Start planning today at exploreclay.com and tag those romantic moments with #ExploreClay.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. Before termites attack your home or business and cause costly damage, Terminix it. Terminix stops termites in my home fast. These destructive pests may have been around for millions of years, but before they show up, so does Terminix. And their time is up. Don't live with a termite problem. I certainly wasn't going to. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. Terminix.com.
Denny Thompson here. Tyson Sound and Security has a huge prize sweepstakes now through the big game. I'm talking a 75-inch loaded Samsung TV with 3D surround sound, a sound bar with wireless subwoofer, and installation is included. Stop by the new showroom, check out the setup, and drop your name in the box for your chance to win the $2,500 prize now through February 9th. Tyson Sound and Security now at 3555 U.S. Highway 17 in Fleming, Iowa.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
One thing I've noticed about Dylan Denmark, he's always in a giving mood. That includes the ELO experience. What do you have?
Pair of tickets to the Electric Light Orchestra Experience featuring Evil Woman. It's Wednesday, February 5th at 7:30 at the Jacksonville Center for Performing Arts. That's part of the FSCJ Artist Series. How are we going to do this? What kind of trivia you got?
Yum. What are we going to do? 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 We'll just take caller number 4. 641-1010. And you get to talk with Dylan Denmark. Should be a lot of fun. I'd like to do some trivia and do all that stuff, and then it would take too much time and everything because I want to get back to some of these questions. I got some really good stuff that came in today, and I feel as though I need to get to you on this. 77-64. What do you think Trevor needs to improve the most moving forward? Number 1, for me, he needs to be a more consistent passer. His completion percentage is terrible. It's 63% in 4 years. It was 60% this past year. I think his head was filled with don't do too much. Don't try to do the extra things. You fumbled, enough in 2023. And to credit him, he made that huge mistake around goal line. I can't remember the game, but I think he cleaned that up. I'd like to see him become a better leader in year 5. We've seen it grow, but I want a little bit more Trevor fire in the belly. I think coming up now in year 5, if the receiver's running the wrong route, if the offensive line is not blocking the way they're supposed to, no matter what it is, this happens in sports. I'm not saying all of a sudden become Phillip Rivers, all of a sudden become Tom Brady, all of a sudden do it in a jackass way like Aaron Rodgers. I'm not saying that. But Trevor's one of those guys who kind of takes all the criticism himself. And I think he needs to delegate the authority a little bit. He's now a veteran. This is going to be his 5th year. So I want to see him take over in that aspect. 4042 Ballou. Rick, no one wants to answer these questions. Bring in Mark Brunell as the offensive coordinator. Doesn't want to call plays. It'd be perfect for him. Any word if the Jacks will be expanding their front office staff? Like the rest of the league about Eric Hallaby. Yeah, Alec has been doing some interviews. The Brunell situation is interesting. He didn't go to Detroit. There was a report a few weeks ago or I guess a week ago, that he was going with Aaron Glenn to New York. Greg Huntington said he doesn't want to call plays. It's going to be pretty tough, I think, for Mark to move up to eventually become a head coach, if that's what he wants, without calling plays. Just look at Liam Cohen. He didn't call plays. That's why he went back and forth between L.A. and Kentucky. Called plays at Kentucky. Then went to Tampa. The guy's called 18 games worth of plays. And he's an NFL coach. Brunell would be adored here. And under the set of circumstances that you gave, it would make some sense. I haven't heard that anywhere. We've gone through the candidates that have interviewed. And it has not been Mark Brunell. 1598, all the national shows are making fun of Cohen for his Duval. Guys in a McAfee show, he didn't stand a chance last more than a year. Well, that's just stupid.
Duval.
Yeah, there you go. That's stupid.
I love how everyone says he lost the press conference, and they just played that one clip.
He did not lose the press conference.
Repeat, over and over and over again.
He crushed it. Look at the things he identified. I've gone over it now in consecutive days. The only thing I disagree with him on is his leadership comment. And I think as a coach, you almost have to answer that question that way. He was brilliant talking about the offensive line. He was brilliant talking about complementary football. How many times have I yelled about that? As soon as the offense steps up, the defense lets them down. As soon as the defense steps up, the offense lets them down. Complementary football. Doing it all together. He might not have been as authentic, or he might not have been as perfect as established head coaches have been. But I thought it was raw, man. I thought it was real. I thought it was energetic. I totally disagree I thought he absolutely nailed the press conference.
It's just one of those things where if he gets fired in 2 or 3 years, they just play that clip and they go, hey, remember this? And then it's just, a laughing joke and just adds to the misery of the Jaguar head coaches.
Yeah. Well, there's no doubt about that. But on a Duval, come on. 4704, Blue, you're right. We shouldn't care what other teams' fans think of us. One fan base doesn't care what people think, yada, yada, yada. Look at Kansas City. They're back in the Super Bowl. But I'm going to preach that. I mean, this is your opportunity. Right now is your time. You just won 4 games. You just won 4 games, and you got a fan base down the road that is ripped at your new coach. And I love it. You got false information coming out of the Tampa. I mean, this guy, Rick Stroud, drives all the way over here. You would think he would have been prepared before his podcast to go on there and say that they still could go to London, that the stadium is unsettled. I mean, this is a guy who's been in this business longer than I have. He's been in it for 30-plus years. I've been in it for 34. I'm guessing Rick Stroud's been in it for close to 40 years. What a major mistake. If I'm going to come out and make significant comments about the state of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, don't you think I'm going to check first? He didn't even know that they got the stadium deal done. He's telling his listeners this franchise could pack up and go to London. I mean, I get it. You don't want to spend time on Jacksonville. We get it. Again, it reminds me when I cover the SEC meetings and they'd say, oh, you got to give a report now on Mississippi State. I don't want to do it, okay? No one cares in Jacksonville about Mississippi State. I don't want to do it. I want to do it on Tennessee or Auburn or LSU or the Gators or the Dogs. Okay, that's excitement. That's how he treated it after coming all the way out here. Very simple. He just could have asked anyone.
His first year on the beat was 1990. Ray Perkins last year when he was the coach for the Bucs.
The late son of Mike Perkins, the guy who's been here since day one. Head of video. Outstanding guy. Don't know his official title, but there's only a few left that have been here since day one. Brian Sexton, Elisa Abbott, and Mike Perkins. I know 3. There might be a 4th. How cool was that? 30-plus years being with the Jaguars. Do we have a winner yet for those tickets?
Yes, Miss Jackie got those tickets.
Miss Jackie! All right. She picking you up? You going with her?
I'll be working here.
Okay.
She was very excited, though.
All right. Just wanted to know. Blue, it doesn't matter. We have a garbage quarterback. Hey, under my plan, when we sit here in a year, we're going to have a much better understanding of Trevor Lawrence. And I'm glad that I get comments like this for one reason. For those of you who disagree with my opinion on fortifying that offensive line, on getting a number 2 wide receiver, and there being neglect defensively, that's the reason. It's time to find out. Is Trevor Lawrence the franchise quarterback? Now, what's incredibly scary is that he's signed for 6 more years. Okay, so that's petrifying. I want to believe he's going to make it. But you got to put everything in to fix it. The right scheme, the right play calls, and the right personnel. Let me find this before our break. This may be, again, one of the greatest comments made by Liam Cohen yesterday. I mean, this should fire up every Jaguar fan. Talking about the offensive line. Quote, I want it to mean something. We want that to mean something, and it will. And that's a mentality. That's personnel. That's scheme. That's technique. That's fundamentals. That's attitude. That's something that we need to make sure we instill. End of quote. I love that. I absolutely love that. Here he is talking in his introductory press conference, breaking down what he needs with this offensive line. It almost feels like to me that he looked at this offensive line and said, what in the hell is Phil Rauscher? What in the hell is Press Taylor? What in the hell is Doug Peterson doing with that offensive line? Maybe he believes 3 or 4/5 of that offensive line can play this year, and you only need one spot. I don't know. Maybe he thinks 3/5 of it need to be replaced. I don't know. Certainly, they just gave the money to Walker Little, so he's not going anywhere. If so, I mean, hey, maybe he doesn't believe in him. I don't know. Maybe he makes a move anyway. I don't know. If so, it'd be just absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, sometimes you come into a job and you inherit stuff, right? He inherits Gabe Davis. I don't think there's anyone out there listening that's like, okay, yeah, Gabe will be fine next year. Gabe's not going to be fine. Gabe is taking up a roster spot, and he's making huge bank. It was a disaster to bring him in. He's overfed. He can't run the way that he once did. He's not consistent. You want him for contested balls. He didn't show out then. I mean, you wish you could just cut bait with him. But a garbage quarterback. Wow. I hope in a year it's clear, because right now it's not. Right now, when you mention Trevor Lawrence, you know what? It's half pregnant. It is. You don't know. You don't know. They've wasted 4 years. We don't know. Does this guy have it or not? For crying out loud, he's 25. He's a kid. He's gone through so much. He's going to have his 4th play caller in 5 years. He's been concussed. He's been hurt. His team didn't defend him after they knocked him flat on the surface. Outside of Jarian Jones and a couple of guys, the coach didn't defend him. The veteran players didn't defend him. Trevor's head must be spinning. Next year at this time, we'll know. It's not going to happen overnight, but what I mean by we'll know is, yes, we saw improvement. You know what we look for this year? Hang on to the ball. Don't fumble the ball. Don't turn over the ball. They still couldn't run. They were okay in pass protection. I believe next year we're going to know. We're going to know, yes, this is headed in the right direction, the combination of Cohen and Lawrence, or it's going to be freaking panic time. It's going to turn into you have 5 more years invested in this guy, and we don't know if he can get to that level. Right now, we don't have a clue. We just don't. I mean, it's wishful thinking, but you don't know. I want to believe it works for him. I do. Oh, I can't imagine the setback of this franchise if that doesn't work. That is like the worst feeling that you can have for lifelong Jaguar fans if it doesn't. And let's hope that's not the case. But for the record, the 5046 who just sent in this text, I get these every day. I get them all the time. And I'm sure other hosts do as well. There's a percentage of people in this town who do believe that it's not going to work for Trevor Lawrence. Give him everything that he needs. Put your resources into that offensive line. Get a number 2 wide receiver. And then see what happens. Much more to do. Take it till 8 o'clock right here on this Tuesday night. Hacker Nation joins you then.
Why doesn't the hero reveal himself and tell us all your real name?
My name is 1010XL.
You do have a name.
My name is 1010XL.
You waited forever for your new fence. Then, strangers show up. Subcontractors rushing the job. Sent by the company you trusted. Frustrating, right? Superior Fence and Rail promises better. Their professionally trained builders deliver quality you can trust. No subcontractors, no shortcuts. Just the superior craftsmanship your home deserves.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, superiorfenceandrail.com.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Happy New Year, sports fans. Hicken here, and let's keep the skincare talk going while we ring in the new year. You know it's winter, a little cold outside. That sun is still shining, so let's always be reminded to take care of our skin. Beaches Dermatology now has a new location open in Fernandina. So if you live just a little north of Duval, you can now see the pros at Beaches Dermatology without having to make the drive to Jax. Go online to beachesdermatology.com to book your skincare appointment today. That's beachesdermatology.com.
Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, congratulating our Scholar Athlete of the Week,
Riley Chapman, senior soccer player at Fletcher High. Riley is a member of the National Honor Society and is a member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. He's been accepted at Palm Beach Atlantic University. Congratulations, Riley.
Hi, Flying Jacko here, and when you're inside the Kuhn Flowers showroom, you'll find a wide array of gift ideas that'll take care of any gift-giving situation. Spend a few minutes there and you'll see for yourself. Kuhn Flowers on Beach Boulevard.
Joe C. for Preferred Roofing, reminding you your roof is more than just felt and shingles. It's a system that not only keeps your home dry, but also impacts your heating and cooling bills. Preferred Roofing and Construction is a GAF Master Elite roofing contractor lauded for having the ability to educate and inform homeowners on their options. Why GAF and Preferred Roofing? They're veteran-owned and operated with ties to Duval for decades. A family business ready to make sure your family has a good roof over its head. Log on, preferredroofingjax.com.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Millard Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Millard Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Millard Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Millard Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Pacifico is brewed for those who let go of the things that don't matter and hold on to the ones that do. That's living life anchors up.
Pacifico, found in Baja, imported by surfers. Ask for a Pacifico when you're ready to live life anchors up.
Pacifico is a crisp golden lager, brewed for those who know. It's what's behind a label that matters.
D1 Training East Jacksonville invites you to their mega NFL football camp at the Bowl School, February 1st from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., ages 7 through 16. Get hands-on coaching from former NFL players at every single station. The coaches lineup, put together by Connor and Sam at D1, is proudly sponsored by Tim Tebow. To sign up, call 904-901-6470.
Aunt Linda clogged the guest bathroom. Your nephew thought the AC was a snow machine. And let's not even talk about the kitchen sink after that turkey grease incident. Ooh.
Congratulations, your family finally left. But the mess stayed behind.
Don't worry. Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning can fix it all. From backed up pipes to overworked AC units, we've got you covered.
Start the new year fresh, because your house deserves it.
Call Duck Rooter today at 904-862-6769. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Right now, get $50 off any service of $150 or more.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
All right, much more out there with the Jacksonville Jaguars. More interviews today, including Jonathan Cooley interviewed. Liam Cohen worked with him with the Los Angeles Rams, comes from the Rams coaching tree, and has been the defensive passing game coordinator for the Carolina Panthers. So that was completed a little bit earlier today. I'm aware of 5 candidates who have interviewed. Patrick Graham, who many believe is the leader in the clubhouse, Raiders defensive coordinator. Durante Jones, Minnesota's passing game coordinator and defensive back coach. Aubrey Pleasant, again, part of the Rams. He's the defensive passing game coordinator and also an assistant head coach. Anthony Campanile, I believe is how you pronounce the name, Green Bay Packers linebackers coach. And then the aforementioned Jonathan Cooley. So he's working a lot of hours. He is. And Liam Cohen is he's got a lot of things going on. You've got to put together your staff, your offense, your defensive coordinator, your position coaches. Also figure out what's going on right now with, 2 collegiate games coming up. One Thursday with the East-West Shrine, and then this weekend is the Senior Bowl. So to get all those reports, and I would also think some film study, starting to get into what you believe you have to do. The good news there is you got plenty of time, but we're only 85 days away from the draft. And blink a couple of times, and that'll be here. And, of course, free agency begins, 6 weeks prior to that. I think the league year officially gets underway March 14th, if memory serves me correct, right around TPC time. So that's 43, 44 days away. That's not too far away. 97-22, Ballou, I know you thought our new coach was genuine and real, but I thought he just gave answers that felt easy and fake. Maybe I got it wrong and I need to look at it again. I know it's not what we were going to ever hear, but I would love to hear him say, this team is a wreck, and I'm here to fix it and make it right. Interesting perspective there. Everyone is going to listen, and everyone is going to react differently. I pre-coached myself before the press conference, and then I did it again before I went on air last night. Coaches almost always win the press conference. They do. I would compare it to training camp. Every year I watch training camp, and these are professionals. And every year I come in, and I'm like, wow, this guy looks great. This guy looks great. This guy looks great. Well, this year, I didn't do as much of that. I tried to be a little bit more grounded and actually upset quite a few people. They are professionals. They're supposed to look good. They're not hitting. Yeah, it's hot, but there's a difference between watching freshmen and redshirt freshmen in college, the way that I learned, under Bobby Bowden at Florida State, to watching things professionally. This is the best of the bunch. And even the guys that are backups and are fighting for a roster spot are still talented human beings. So I've tried to taper my enthusiasm off there. And then you really get your best understanding when you work with another team. Maybe even more these days than when you actually play preseason games. Remember how messed up the preseason was last year? I want to say, Dylan, that the teams that Jacksonville went up against during the preseason where they were undefeated, their starting quarterback didn't play in either one of those games.
What is it, the Chiefs?
We know he didn't play. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the other two opponents.
Dolphins, maybe.
I don't think Tua played. I don't think the Falcons played either one of their top two quarterbacks.
No, the Falcons was terrible because the Jags played all their starters and the Falcons didn't play any of their starters. I do remember that.
So my point is that you're honestly, your best measuring stick is if you practice against another team. And we saw that with Tampa. I don't think that's going to happen this year. So anyway, the 97-22. Interesting that you you thought that way. I don't. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't agree with that. I took it differently, in a more positive way, as to the way that Liam Cohen was introduced yesterday by the Jaguars.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Service by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
Rick Stroud fired up some people today.
Yeah, I read some of that. I thought it was cool that he made the 4-hour drive or 3.5-hour drive up here to talk to Liam Cohen. I guess that's what you needed to do if you're in the Tampa market. But Tampa Bay fans are still pretty upset about that whole situation.
Yeah, they are. And, we've known Rick Stroud, known him forever, but I just can't get over the fact that he's this close, and he was so uninformed, saying that this team could still move to London, saying that the stadium deal was unsettled. I mean, that is common knowledge. So I guess when you cover the Bucs, and that's always been my point, trusting the media outside of Duval, here's a perfect example.
Yeah, maybe he's still a little bitter about what happened last week as well. His guy chose the Jaguars over Tampa Bay. Yeah, I mean, that's nonsense. Finally, I know you do a lot of out-of-market interviews too. For the longest time, inevitably, one of the questions was, when are the Jaguars moving to London? I haven't had to deal with that for the last few months now because of the stadium deal, because they know it's getting built. So I'm pretty relieved about that.
Yeah, I did a podcast in Tampa today, and I wasn't asked that, so that was kind of cool. All right, what's coming up Tuesday night?
Yeah, Joe Harasimiak. Does that name mean anything to you?
How do I know that name?
Well, first off, right now he's the head coach of UMass. But back in 2017, he was the head coach of the University of Maine. And his offensive coordinator was a guy named Liam Cohen. So he's going to join me tonight to kind of give some feedback on Liam Cohen's young days as a coach. I mean, think about that. From an offensive coordinator at Maine in 2017 to the head coach in the NFL in 2025.
Insane.
I mean, that is a meteoric rise.
Yeah.
So Coach Joe, as they call him, is going to join me again. He just took over the job at UMass this year.
Don Brown was fired.
Yeah. So, but he was at Maine. He was Liam Cohen's boss, if you will, in 2017 and 2018. So we'll talk with him. Also, Sean Kelly, the radio voice of the Florida Gators, will stop by. Gator basketball, third week in a row in the top 5. They get ready for a big one Saturday against Tennessee.
One of my best buds growing up with him in Boston is a linebacker for UMass. And he left Boston and spent a year at Arizona under Jed Fish, and then left and went to the University of Massachusetts. But anyway, so small world with that. And I did ask Liam Cohen about the UMass maze yesterday, and he was shocked that I asked that. I'm sure that hasn't been brought to his attention in many years. For those of you who don't know, there's a maze on the campus of ZooMass where the student body will get drunk and try to complete the maze. Kind of like The Shining and Jack Nicholson in the maze.
That's terrific. That is terrific. I actually, Coach Joe, and I had him on earlier, we were talking about small towns in Maine because Heidi's family is from Maine. So we were breaking down Westbrook, Maine and Cornish, Maine. It was quite the conversation.
There he goes. Have a lot of fun.
Thanks, Rick.
That's Hacker Nation. He's coming up right now. Appreciate all of your feedback tonight. Some great stuff on YouTube, on Twitter, on the text line. Again, I don't check the text line or YouTube now if the show is over, but you can always reach me on Twitter. That is Ballou1010XL. Thank you to Aaron Beasley for joining us. Thank you to Dylan Denmark as well. Folks, you have a great night. Middle of the week tomorrow. Much more on the Jags and everything else that is cooking. And we'll do that from 6 to 8. My name is Rick Ballou. We'll talk then right here on your home of the Jags.